Midlife. Midlife is something that is not talked about a lot. You get a lot of education on when you first start your period, and then when you're getting ready to have babies, and then you have babies, and you get a lot of support and help and education around those things. But then comes your 40s and 50s, and things start to change dramatically sometimes. And there's not a whole lot out there. So I have been doing research and walking through my own journey and trying to be as informed as possible while also sharing with other women what is working for me and what makes the most sense for me. So, all of that to say, I am not a doctor. I am not a healthcare professional. So, all of this is based on my own research and my experiences. I am a woman in her late 40s, just trying to do this thing and figure it out as I go. So, some of the things that happen in midlife, well, some of the main things, estrogen drops dramatically. It can start dropping as early as in our mid 30s. For me, I think I started perimenopause in my early 40s. So I've been in this stage for a little while, and perimenopause can last for up to 10 years before you actually go through menopause. Our estrogen drops and eventually disappears, and then progesterone and testosterone also drop significantly. And all of these things are what our bodies are designed to use and help us function. And estrogen is a protector of sorts for our body. It is highly anti-inflammatory and protects all parts of our bodies, um, not just our menstrual cycle, and it doesn't just affect that or our ability to have babies. It also, every system in your body has estrogen receptors. So once that starts leaving, you start noticing things like maybe brain fog or aches and pains that you never had before, or your cholesterol is suddenly really high and it's never been high before. Some people experience crazy changes in their cycle. Other people experience their cycle gradually getting less and less and less. So there are a lot of things that can change during these perimenopause years. As we go through menopause, our risk for fracture and dementia increases dramatically because of those hormones leaving our bodies. Now, women live longer than men, but often our quality of life is not as good. We end up in nursing homes more than men because either we can't think, meaning we have dementia or Alzheimer's, some kind of mental incapacitation, or we can't move, meaning we've had a fracture, we've broken a hip or a leg or a collarbone or something like that, and it is debilitating at that stage. So, what can we do about this? I personally want to be a strong, steady old lady that can help herself up off the couch, who can reach up to get something off a shelf, or who can get in and out of the shower without needing help. I want to be able to have a good quality of life as I get into my 70s and 80s, and if the Lord wills, in my 90s. We just celebrated my grandmother's a year ago, her 100th birthday, and she passed away a few months later. And what a gift to be able to live that long and have such an impact on people. And to have a good quality of life. So that is my desire, to be able to have a good quality of life. And also, as I have a good quality of life, I'm able to serve others more effectively because I'm not having to be a burden on someone or needing constant care. I can help others, I can serve others, and be a ministry to them. So the 5 things, if you printed off your worksheet, there are 5 things we're going to talk about today. The first one is daily movement, and we all know how important moving is, and getting our steps in and things like that. So ideally, the first thing I'm going to talk about are the steps. So ideally, 7 to 10,000 steps per day is ideal. If you don't do that much, just start getting a little more than you do now. Any steps are helpful. I heard a really great tip the other day from someone who said, if you cannot get outside and walk, or if you don't have a treadmill, be inefficient with your household chores. So if you are, if you're doing laundry, so fold a couple things and then go put them away, and then come back and fold a couple things and then go put them away. So get your steps in your regular routine. Running up and down the stairs is a great way. If you have stairs in your house, is a great way to get in some extra steps. We live in an area with a nice quiet dirt road across the street from us. So I'm able to walk there until it gets to be icy and hazardous. And then we have a treadmill, which I'm very, very thankful for. Many people don't have room for a treadmill or the funds for a treadmill, but there are a lot of ways you can get your steps in just by walking around your house or walking up and down your driveway if that's all you have access to. So any way you can get steps is great. Walking is one of the best exercises because it puts you in your zone 2 cardio. So zone 2 cardio is your fat burning stage. So it's really not fast. I was surprised when I actually did the math. I was not like booking it on my walks. I'm like, I can have a conversation and it's really quite a pleasant speed to be walking at. So if you don't know what zone 2 cardio is, it's 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And you can find your maximum heart rate by taking the number 220 and subtracting your age. That's your maximum heart rate. So 60 to 70% of that number is zone 2 cardio, where you should be doing most of your exercise in. Walking balances your blood sugar. So sometimes during perimenopause and postmenopause, women start having blood sugar issues. And walking is one of the best exercises you can do. If you take just a 10-minute, 5 or 10, 15-minute walk after a meal, it balances your blood sugar. And I started doing this year. Being an online piano teacher, I sit a lot. My job is very sedentary. It requires a lot of energy, but I'm not moving. I'm just sitting in a chair teaching kids and adults all day. And I love it, but it is very sedentary. So I have to be very proactive about the steps that I get and make sure that I'm getting them in. So I always walk in the morning. I do a longer walk in the morning, and then I started adding one after lunch. Man, can I tell you, my hips don't ache. Like, they were starting to ache as I was sitting in even though I have a really nice cushy desk chair, they were starting to ache and hurt. And I'm like, I'm not old. I am not. I refuse to accept the fact that I'm old. I don't want to have achy hips and be sore all the time. So I started taking a walk after lunch, and that has made a profound difference in how my body feels, and it energizes me too for the rest of my day. So it balances your blood sugar. It keeps your body moving. It helps prevent weight gain, which can often happen in perimenopause and menopause. And then also, this is something I'm going to be adding soon. This is kind of a bonus. I'm going to be adding a weighted vest soon for added resistance. I've seen this recommended in several places to use a weighted vest that's around 10% of your body weight, and just put that on when you go for a walk. And I'm interested to see how this changes my walks. I'm sure at first it's going to be really hard and I'm going to be like really breathing heavy, but I've got it on my Christmas list. I'm hoping I get it for Christmas. And actually I was going to there's some links I'm going to put in the chat. So I'm going to stick that one in the chat for you if you want to see the one that I have on my list. And I've got a couple other things that I'll be putting in the chat a little bit later. All right, so steps, lots of steps. The second thing under daily movement is strength training. Now, I am of the era of the high cardio, light weights, and doing 1,000,000 reps. But that is not as effective as we get older. Lifting heavy is really, really important. So not just 2 or 3 pounds, I'm talking like 10, 15, 20 pounds if you can do it, for doing 4 reps, 4 sets of heavy weights, and doing that about 3 days 3 days a week, two days at minimum. 3 to 4 is better. And choosing like 4 to 6 movements to do each week and stick with those same movements each week so you can see the growth in your strength. Now, if you're brand new to strength training, I would recommend starting with one. Start with one exercise. Start doing planks 3 days a week. Maybe if you have never done planks before, start with a 15-second plank or a 30-second plank and do that and increase it over time. Don't stay there. Don't stay with just the 30-second plank. Increase it weekly, even if it's just 2 or 3 seconds or 5 seconds. Same with if you start doing lifting heavy. Increase over time. Now, I've been working on this lifting heavy since May. I have been amazed at the difference in my strength, and it's been really cool to see. There won't be a difference in your strength if you don't push yourself. So whether that's adding more reps. So I was at like 12-pound weights for a long time. And so what I did was I started increasing my reps instead of increasing my strength. So once I got up to about 8 or 10, then I increased my weight and it was much more doable at that point. Then I was back down to my 4 reps, 4 sets. So just a couple of ideas for you. So by building strong muscles, we will have strong bones. And if we have strong bones and strong muscles, we will have much less risk of fracture. So I want to be able to get in and out of my kayak when I'm 60, 70, maybe 80. That would be amazing to be able to get in and out of my kayak, be able to swim, run around with my grandchildren if the Lord provides me grandchildren. There are a lot of things that I want to be able to do as I get older, and strength training is a big part of that. So the third thing in this section is balance, working on balance. And this is something I never thought about. I knew I needed to move and I needed to strength train, but balance was not something that I thought of. So a really easy way to work on your balance is when you're brushing your teeth. You're going to brush your teeth anyway. Why not stand on one leg while you're doing it? We'll do one leg in the morning and then the other leg at night. I do one leg for half the time and the other leg for half the time. You can split it up however you want to. But balance is a big deal as we get older. Second thing on our worksheet is nourishing nutrition. And a lot of this stuff, ladies, some of this stuff is stuff I have learned in the last 6 months as I've been researching it. And it has kind of blown me away as I've started incorporating this into my lifestyle, how much it has changed the way I feel overall, and then changed my my perspective on movement and food and making things more efficient. And so nutrition, especially, nutrition has always been a big deal for me. I have an autoimmune disease that affects my my digestive system, and so I'm always very careful about getting nutrition. But I didn't know that we should be eating way more protein than we generally do. So ideally would be 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. That's a lot of protein. That's a lot of protein. At minimum, it should be 30 grams of protein per meal. So that's 90 grams of protein per day if you eat 3 meals a day. You got to work up to it. Don't try to do this all at once because you will not feel well. You're never hungry. And it's okay if you need to increase your protein. I have eaten when I'm not hungry and I'm not gaining weight. I'm careful with the protein I eat, and I'm careful with the other things. When you are eating good protein, and then the second thing is fiber, adding lots of fiber, when you're incorporating those two things, you're not really hungry for much more. And that gives you well-rounded nutrition. So fiber, the ideal amount of fiber per day is 35 grams. That's a lot. Minimum should be 25 grams that we should be aiming for. And getting as much of that from your food as you can. So I have a breakfast smoothie every day. And in my breakfast smoothie, I put a collagen powder where I get a lot of my protein from for my breakfast, because there's no way I could physically eat enough protein to where I should be at. So I use a collagen protein in my smoothie. The one that I have, you can get for like it dissolves in your coffee. So you could have a protein coffee for breakfast, things like that. There's a lot of ways you can get your protein in. But I also add things like avocado and spinach and raspberries that are all high in fiber. And those things are incredibly good for you too. Raspberries are like the highest fiber containing fruit out there. They are amazing. I love raspberries. They're so good. So it keeps everything moving the way it should be moving, but it also fills you up on good food. So protein, fiber, third is hydration. We should be drinking half of our body weight in ounces of water. And if you drink anything with caffeine, you need to add an extra 8 ounces of water because caffeine and coffee dehydrate you. So it's pulling water out of you that your body needs. If you start increasing your water and you're finding you're using the bathroom a lot, add a pinch of sea salt, of high quality sea salt, because water follows salt. If we don't have minerals in our water, which a lot of our water these days is very devoid of essential minerals, it's just going to wash your system. It's going to go right through you. But adding a pinch of sea salt will help you be hydrated and stay hydrated. So that makes a big difference. And then the fourth thing is to eliminate added sugar. Sugar is to blame for so many things that we have blamed other things for. It can affect your cholesterol. Obviously, we know it affects weight gain. Brain fog is a big one. Inflammation, high cholesterol, high blood sugar, high blood pressure. A lot of these things can be traced back to sugar. And so I would encourage you to reduce added sugar as much as possible. We eat a lot of sugar in America, a lot of sugar. And there's sugar in everything. So being vigilant about reading labels and just doing what you can to reduce or eliminate as much added sugar as possible. The third category is to eliminate endocrine disruptors. So an endocrine disruptor is a chemical that causes, or any chemical that causes inflammation. Many times it comes from things we put on our body, things we use to clean our house, and our air fresheners. So like candles, plug-ins, all of those things have endocrine disruptors in them. So it is anything labeled a fragrance is going to be an endocrine disruptor. Fragrances are not regulated by the FDA, and they are also, the ingredients don't have to be disclosed by the company. So they are specific to that company. The company can use whatever they want in there without having to worry about being regulated. And so many of the chemicals in those fragrances, whether it's your body products and your face lotion that you're putting on your face every day, or your laundry soap that you're using to clean your clothes, or your Lysol that you're cleaning your bathroom with, all of those have fragrance and chemicals in them that we are breathing in or absorbing through our skin. So our skin is our largest organ, and everything that goes on it absorbs through your skin. So just eliminating those that you can. Over the course of time, I have one by one, I have swapped out products for things that are clean. And I personally use Young Living products. I'm a Young Living brand partner, and I love their products. So one of the first things I swapped out were candles and air fresheners. And we use a diffuser with essential oils, and sometimes I will make a glass bottle with water and some essential oils in it for bathroom spray, just for when you need a little extra. So that was the first thing I swapped out. And over time, I've swapped out my cleaners. I only use Thieves Household Cleaner to clean my house. This is a concentrate, so this bottle makes 14 32-ounce bottles. It makes a lot. So, and it actually looks a little different. Let me show you what it looks like now. If you go to the Young Living page, they redesigned it. So it looks like this now. So it's a little bit different, but it's the same exact thing, the same exact amount, the same exact high quality concentrate. So it is a concentrate. So you don't want to, you can use that full strength if you want to, and it is, wow, it's amazing, but you don't need to for it to be effective. You can use it diluted, and the instructions are on the bottle to the ratio to dilute it. And then I have swapped out my shampoo, my conditioner, my soap, my everything I put on my face is clean. So I've swapped out, but I didn't do it all at once because it can be very overwhelming and hard to stick with if you try to do it all at once. But you can literally clean your entire house with baking soda and vinegar. And those are so inexpensive and they're clean. You can add essential oils to them to make them smell a little bit better because they, vinegar is not exactly the best scent in the world. And I like to add essential oil, or I've seen people soak like orange rinds or lemon rinds peels in vinegar to use as their cleaner. So removing endocrine disruptors. And then fourthly is quality supplements. So I have a couple of supplements that I want to share with you today. Some of you may already use these, and you may not even know what they are. So the first one, this one, if I had to get rid of every single supplement and only use one, I would stick with this one. This is Ningxia Red. And my mother-in-law uses this and loves this. So Ningxia Red is it's a whole food puree. It's a lot of fruits and essential oils, but it is highly antioxidant. Helps to reduce inflammation in your body, which is what I have found amazing about it. In my experience, as my inflammation has gone down from drinking, and 2 ounces is a serving. So that's all you need in a day. You can certainly drink more. And I have done times where I have drunk a lot for a few days at a time to get my inflammation reduced quickly. And you can absolutely do that. And it is amazing. Your energy will go through the roof. But as your inflammation goes down, so there were several things that happened for me. The first thing I noticed was my sleep got better. And that was huge. That was huge. The second thing I noticed was my energy went up a lot. And then the third thing that I noticed was that having an autoimmune disease that affects my digestive system really settled down. Things got a lot better. I'm not going to give you a lot of details on that because you don't need all those details. But anyway, it really, really helped. So that is my experience. I know other people have experienced that it has helped them to reduce bloating. It has helped with acne. Aches and pains have been reduced. There's a lot of things that people are seeing that really, really the benefits from Ningxia Red are huge. So the second supplement is Progessence Plus. So this is a serum, and I started using this about 4 years ago to help balance things. Many women have low progesterone, which can contribute to poor sleep, rough cycles, or shorter cycles that are shorter than 28 days. So your cycles should still be 28 days, even when you're going through perimenopause. That is my feeling as I've done the research. But again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare professional. But this product is a natural bioidentical progesterone from wild yam. So it is plant-based, which all of Young Living's products are plant-based. A lot of times what you do with Progessence Plus is you use it a lot at first, and then gradually you don't need it as much. And you can tell, like, again, another thing that is a good side effect of Progessence Plus is better sleep. I have a friend who just started using it, and after 2 weeks of using it, she's like, I'm sleeping like the dead. She's like, it's great. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night, and she said everything feels more balanced. Progessence Plus, 1 drop is a serving. So this bottle has about 250 to 300 drops in it. It'll last you a long time. You can use it if you're still regularly cycling, you can use it during your cycle to help reduce discomfort and the crazy that can happen during your cycle. The third one is Femigen. The serving size on this, it says 2 capsules It has 60 capsules in the bottle. I only take one, and I find that that's enough for me. The Young Living website, this is what they say on here. We have to be careful with claiming things that have not been studied by the FDA. So I'm just going to tell you what the Young Living website says about Femigen. It supports the female reproductive system and helps maintain balance during menopause. And I want some balance in my life. So that is another one I recommend. The fourth one is kind of a bonus. This is called Cortistop. And as women, there are seasons in our life when we are in fight or flight mode a lot. Stressful situations, launching kids to college has been stressful, or, when they're young, you're not getting enough sleep and you're constantly on the go and doing things. So, Cortistop helps to block the overproduction of cortisol. And that can have negative health effects in that I ended up with adrenal fatigue at one time because I was in fight or flight for so long. And this product helps to just kind of regulate things and slow down the fight or flight response that we can have to a lot of things. Cortistop helps the body maintain its natural balance and harmony and supports the glandular system of women with a combination of progesterone, herbs, and essential oils. So that is directly from the Young Living website. So that's a good one. I created a wish list on my Young Living site for you all with all of these products that I've talked about today. I'm going to put the link in the chat for you so you can take a look at that and browse it at your own time. So this is a wish list. It doesn't mean it goes directly in your cart. If you want to order all these things, fabulous. But you can pick and choose what you want to order. You can also go on and look at the other things that are available on the Young Living website. But you can also reach out and ask any questions too. So the final category, and this is the one I struggle with the most, is reducing the stress you can reduce. Any way that you can reduce stress on your body is going to help you thrive in midlife. So all of the four things that we just talked about, all four of those things can help you reduce your stress. You're moving, so your body's going to feel better. You're lifting weights, so you're getting stronger, so you're not at risk to fall or to break something. You are not inhaling things that can damage your body and interrupt your endocrine system. You're not putting things on your skin that are damaging to your body and burdening your body, causing inflammation, which also can cause weight gain or brain fog and all the other things we were talking about. But other things that I honestly struggle with trying to figure out. One of the things is eliminating unnecessary things. There are a lot of things that I like to do that are not necessary. Sometimes they refresh me, and so they're not stressful. But there are other things that I do out of obligation or because someone else is expecting me to do it, or I feel like someone might be expecting me to do it. So trying to figure out what those things are and eliminate those things. The biggest thing that I have learned in probably since John passed in 2009 has been, and this is a continual process for me. I have not figured it out yet, but he continually brings up the verses in Matthew 11 that say, "Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." And when we are feeling burdened and when we are feeling heavy and weighed down, usually that's not from the Lord. And finding a way to give that to him and surrendering that to him and letting him take over. Ladies, it's hard. It is hard. I struggle so much with this. I want to have a plan. I want to know what that plan is going to be. And I like to do the plan. And I like to do a lot of things. But sometimes I do it to myself and I add stress on myself that I don't need to add. And I have to continually come back to this verse and surrender my plans and my control and my stress to the Lord and say, okay, Lord, your yoke is easy, your burden is light. My burden feels really heavy right now, and this yoke feels incredibly hard. And surrendering that to him and having him, he promises in James that if we ask for wisdom, he will give us wisdom and he will show us what needs to change, or maybe it's a mindset or a heart set that we need to change surrounding something that is causing us stress. So I hope this is helpful. These are a lot of things that I have been, some I've been learning my entire life, like resting in the Lord has been a lifelong struggle and journey, and sometimes it goes really well and other times I'm just trying to grab control again. But some of these things are things that I have learned in the past 5 or so years that are relatively recent as I have started living as cleanly as possible, eliminating those endocrine disruptors and things that can cause inflammation and harm to my body. But I hope this is helpful and that you can glean something useful from what we talked about here today.